What's happening, my peoples? Fans, facts, and feelings. March Madness Final Four edition. And before I even get into anything in my predictions for the Final Four, I want to go ahead and say I was wrong about St. John's beating Duke. My, I, it was, I was be wrong. I'm either be right or be wrong. That was just my feelings. So that's what this platform's about. You either right or wrong. You either facts or you in your feelings. And I thought it was gonna be a Tom Izzo, Rick Pitino show. Excuse me. I thought it was gonna be a Rick Pitino, Calvin Sampson Final Four, but neither one of them made it. And I was also wrong about Nebraska, Iowa. Iowa ended up beating Nebraska because they hit more shots. As I stated, up and down game, and I got it wrong. I knew Arizona was a better team than Arkansas. I felt like that they wasn't gonna beat them. I wanted Arkansas to win. I didn't. Tennessee ended up upsetting Iowa State and getting smashed by Michigan, of course. So I was off on a few things. Illinois, they surprised me as well. UConn surprised me as well, and I mean, here we go. We got a strong Final Four, a very solid Final Four. Two favorites because they were both one seeds with Michigan and Arizona, and two teams that you're not surprised with the heart of the champion of UConn and Hurley coming back 2 out of the last 3 years. Kudos to Hurley, man, for being just a dynamite, just fiery coach in this game, man. And you got to respect him as literally being like one of the top three, if not like one of the best coaches or the best coach in college basketball. It's an arguable topic right now to put him in that Mount Rushmore, as you will. But before I go into the Final Four matchups and my predictions, I want to look back on some of those games that took place. And, B. Wright likes to critique and say things that was just a complete catastrophe. And I want to start out with the catastrophe with being with UConn and Duke. I mean, Braylon Mullins made a spectacular, gutsy shot. And the way he shot it, that wasn't a heave, that wasn't luck. He shot that with pure form, and it was just a great shot. I knew it was going to go in the moment it left his hands. But with that said, I want to get on Coach Scheyer and break down some things. This is a B. Wright breakdown. You don't get a lot of these out of me, but this is one of those moments where I got to let the world know, Duke fans know, that Sheyer's wetting the bed in the final minutes/seconds of NCAA games. Against Houston last year, he had a meltdown against the Cougs. Yes, Houston is gritty and they're experienced and they came back, but I think his meltdown last year was substitutions. He didn't play enough bench. And if you look at that game and you go back, everybody played 35 to 38 minutes in that game. And Houston, everybody knows, was a track team. You can't, try to outrun a team like that. And it ended up biting them with Proctor missing those two free throws, being tired late in the game. But moving to this year, the mistake was, you had a good game plan. You're lucky that they missed all those threes, by the way. They were 1 for 18 before they hit their last 3 out of 4, UConn was, I believe. With that said, you can't have Dame Sarr out on the court with a 53% free throw percentage. You can't have Pat Gungba, who shoots 67% and has shot the ball awful from free throw. Just not have Caleb Foster in the game. Now, Caleb Foster's just a 58% free throw shooter. He's not the greatest, but it's better than SARS, and he's more of a point guard, and he's going to probably not turn that ball over. And now Caden is a good ball handler, and he's an 81% free throw shooter. But Patrick Gungba and Dame Sarr had no business being in that game. First of all. Second of all, if you see where Caden was throwing the ball, he was throwing it to the big, and Evans was on the other side. Evans should have been in the game in the front court, not in the back court. So having two people in the game that shouldn't have been in the game, and then the placement of the players was awful by Scheyer. And that's where you get the turnover and that unfortunate, error pass that gets tipped. Demery, scrappy point guard out of Georgia. He had 2 big threes, and then he missed the free throw that he needed to hit. So that was timely on him. So just a scrappy effort by UConn. And I expect that scrappy effort to follow in the Final Four game. And secondly, I just want to talk about the game plan that Arkansas had. I didn't like the fact that they didn't go with more Pringle and Irwin in their with bigs against Arizona and just all guards. Someone had to get less minutes as a guard for Arkansas that day. and you had to maybe speed the game up, maybe trap them, zone, anything. But I didn't like the straight up and down going up with that big physical team. I didn't like the game plan. And Arizona did play well, but I just felt like that Arkansas was too laid back and they tried to play their style of play against a team that was just stronger than them in that. And they were bigger than them, so they needed to, have more bigs in there, maybe double down inside more. But again, I'm not faulting Calipari as much as I am Scheyer in that loss. I just think that Arizona was just that much better than Arkansas. Same thing with Michigan and Tennessee. Tennessee didn't stand a chance unless they just made it ugly, and they didn't. And so, it's one of those things. But to the Final Four, the first game, which people are not feeling like is going to be the champion, that's going to represent the champion. It's going to be, people feel like that Arizona and Michigan are going, the winner of that is going to win it all. I honestly believe that as well. But with that said, don't sleep on Illinois and don't sleep on UConn. UConn, the heart of a champion, and Illinois has a very, very solid, experienced, well-coached, tough, gritty team. Okay, Orlando Antigua's over there. You know what kind of flavor he brings to the table as an assistant. For Cal, many years was a good coach for himself for a few years. A dog under Wood, their coach, the head coach. I want make sure I'm saying his name right. Good coach, been doing it for a long time. So that's a gritty squad. I like Peja Stojakovic's son. He's more of a slasher and a scorer than he is a shooter, but I like him in his efficiency. I also feel like that the Kylan Boswell guy for Illinois has to play better. He has to help Keaton Wagler. As good as Keaton Wagler is, you can't put that on that freshman. And I think Keaton Wagler is special in his own way. I think it's going to be interesting to see what NBA team he goes to because of his style of play and how he has the ball in his hand, but I feel like he can play off the ball as well. But I feel like that UConn's guards, they've been struggling scoring too. And if it comes to bigs, I want to say Reed is, he has a lot of bodies to go up against within UConn, but Caravan can't have 5 points. He scored 5 points against Duke. Caravan cannot have 5 points. And at the end of the day, man, I'm going to go with Hurley with this game. A slight edge. I like Illinois, and I wouldn't mind for them to win. My feelings, like I said, Coach Antigua, Big O, he's a real one, so I would like to see him succeed within that realm. But other than that, man, I think that Coach Hurley is primed to get back in the championship game. And with that said, he's going to lose in that game to Arizona. I like Michigan. I like Yaxel. I like the guards, Gale, McKinney. He's solid. He plays good defense. McDonald's All-American. And, the big center down low, he's crafty. Mara. But at the end of the day, man, when it comes to just Jaden Bradley and Brayden Berries and Cole Pete and just those role players that come off that bench, I just feel like that their physicality and their willingness to win ugly gives them the edge. Michigan, I don't believe in their point guard, Cadeau. I think he's average. I think he's a good average point guard, but he's a poor man's Mateen Cleaves, and I can just see him struggling and not giving them anything and making it all being on Yaxel. And I just can't see anybody stepping up as much. Barry's is a pro, first of all. I'm putting on my scouting cap right now. Man, all these freshmen out here that, everybody's going crazy about. AJ, Acuff's my favorite, first of all. Peterson, just all these freshmen that are, man, listen to me. Whoever gets Brayden Berries from Arizona is going to get the steal of the draft, in my opinion. That kid he's not a sleeper, but he is slept on. So I just feel like that the world's gonna probably see his solidness. Yeah, man, I like that kid, and I like Arizona just squeaking past Michigan. It's gonna be a tough game. And with that said, a tough game, man. UConn and Arizona, my goodness, that is gonna be a bloodbath. Two tough, scrappy coaches. But I'm gonna go ahead and give the edge to Arizona, man. It's been a long time since the Bearcats have won one. It's looking like a bear down championship season. Hey, B Right has been wrong. Any of these teams could win the national championship, and I would not be surprised. Okay. Like, seriously, I respect and think that all these teams are championship worthy. They all have solid players. They all have height. They have depth. They have good coaching. And it's going to be exciting Final Four. I'm very excited to watch this Final Four and to see who's going to come on top. But I'm picking Arizona to take down UConn, and it's going to be where Hurley's going to be in 3 championship games out of 4 years. Patino did that a while back. Calipari's did that a while back. I mean, there's only a certain few coaches that have been to like 3 championship games out of 4 years or 2 in a row. Billy Donovan won it 2 years in a row. Hurley, listen, he said he didn't headbutt that referee on purpose, and he was just coming to tell him that there was no time left. But man, that dude's a savage, man. And what kid wouldn't want to come play for Hurley? Whether you're an All-American or underdog, he makes you welcome, and he's going to get the best out of you. So shout out to Hurley, but I think they're going to fall short to the bird down Arizona Wildcats. Well, that's my predictions for March Madness. This won't be my last NCAA segment. When that transfer portal opens up and the names start swirling after April the 7th, Be Right will come on here. I might have a guest. I might come on here solo dolo. I don't know. But that transfer portal in the new year, also without Tyron Stokes signing and some uncommitted, it's college basketball and that money and that armor truck and that NIL and that transfer portal is going to get real spicy here coming up soon. So look forward to discussing that and critiquing that and see how that goes. But Be Right signing off, man. Happy Easter to everyone. God bless and take it easy. I'm out.